So you want to be a speaker, huh? How do you do that? Most of the time, that's where the conversation stops for a lot of people, because as soon as they say, I want to be a speaker, all of the, but how do I do this? How do I do that? But I can't, and the shoulda, and the woulda, and the coulda, and the all of that stuff comes in. And they don't become speakers. And selfishly, that hurts me, because you, my friend, have something that is uniquely yours that I need to benefit from. And when you hold it all in, I can't. So in this episode, I am going to give you my top 7 tips on how to become a professional speaker. All right, let's go.
Welcome to the Flourishing Entrepreneur Podcast with Aleya Harris. If you're looking for actionable ways to stand out from the crowd by standing in your power, you've come to the right place. Each week, we help you and your fellow empire-building entrepreneurs become radically authentic and tap into your unique story to attract your ideal clients. Listen in and learn how to use energy alignment techniques and tried and true marketing strategies to transform from a leader to a legend. And now, your host, Powerhouse Story Brand Certified Guide, award-winning marketer, bioenergetic business coach, and Japanese whiskey lover, Aleya Harris.
Becoming a professional anything just means that you get paid to do it. I mean, I could technically be a professional hot dog eater if I could get enough people to pay me money to do it. That actually sounds disgusting. Please don't pay me money to do that. But that's all that it means, is that people pay you money to do it. That is what differentiates a hobbyist from a professional. However, I spoke for, I want to say like a year, many times before I got paid anything up front in cash. But I still considered myself a professional speaker because, oh yes, I still got paid. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. But this episode is about the top 7 things that you need to do to become a professional speaker. I am a professional speaker. My speaking fees start at about $10,000, depending on where we're at, and go up from there, at least at the time of this recording. Hopefully, if you come back and you're circling around a year after I've recorded this, my fees will be at like $50,000. But as of right now, that's where I'm at, and I'm proud of how far I've made it on my journey. But I didn't start at 10,000 either. I started at 0. And the thing that you have to know about being a speaker is that you shouldn't go into becoming a speaker to make a boatload of money. Does that mean you won't make a boatload of money? No, you can make all kinds of money being a speaker. It's super lucrative. But if you go into it with only the desire to use it as a revenue stream, you're not going to make it very far. People will see through that. Speaking is just another caveat to bring who you are and your mission as a soul having a human experience here to the planet for other people to enjoy, to learn from, to grow with. So I will say that as a caveat. I know everyone's like listening with bated breath, including you, of like, tell me how to make the money. And I will. But that's not what you should be doing. Now, just like everything I do, I approach speaking in 3 stages. And my first step for you is to do the same. You need to approach your speaking career from 3 stages. The first is getting real, the second is getting clear, and the third is getting connected. Getting real means getting real with yourself about what are your limiting beliefs, what's been holding you back, what are the shoulds that you should get rid of, and what are the things that you deserve for your life that you're not allowing yourself the ability to attract. By getting real, you will be able to excavate the story that is uniquely yours. You need to remove all of the stuff that's not working for you in order to find something that is you. If you don't do that, you're going to come out onto the speaking scene and sound like everybody else. You're going to go take someone's course, and they're going to tell you this is how you structure a talk, and you're going to give the talk, and it's going to be technically correct, but it's going to be dry and boring because you don't have anything to say. You need to get real. One of the things that I did was to list out all of the things that I've, quote unquote, suffered from. All of the crises that I've been through, all of my pain, all of the things that I have overcome. I listed those out and I said, now what are the lessons that I've got from that? What is the transformation I caused for myself and for others? But I had to get real. It was several sessions with tears, with prayer, going through and thanking myself for having this journey. Because that's what this is all about, right? If you just wanted to get some straight up information, there's other modes to do that besides hearing someone on stage. When you hear someone on stage, you're also wanting to relate to someone. You're wanting to hear their story. You're wanting to feel seen and heard. And you, as a professional speaker, cannot do that if you have not first seen and heard yourself. Then once you do that, you need to get clear. What does all of that make you? Who are you? And then you get connected. Okay, now you know who you are. Why should someone listen to you? Just because one of the crises you got over was falling off the stage at a pie eating contest. I don't know why all of my stuff is so fair oriented. Pies, hot dogs, work with me, people. Falling off the stage at a pie eating contest could be something that you overcame. Maybe you twisted your ankle. I don't know. But why do I care about that? How do you relate that to the larger story of what people are dealing with, the larger themes of struggle? If you're reaching people everywhere deal with scarcity, lack, burnout, depression, not feeling connected, lack of clarity. Those are things that you can go and look inside your own story to see what are the themes so that you know how to meet people where they are and how to make it work for them. So look at yourself and in your career in those three stages. Get real, get clear, get connected. And I invite you to work through those three stages before you ever put yourself out to be on anybody's stage. If you need help trying to figure out how to do that, you can go to www.aleyaharris.com/recalibrate. That's ALEYAHARRIS.com/recalibrate. And you can download the recalibration guide. My recalibration guide is a free 25 plus page document that will help you figure out how to go through those three stages. Okay, the second tip I have for you is do the inner work first, which comes from get real. So everyone talks about, oh, do the work. And you sit there and you journal, you get like a little gratitude journal and you feel all cute. That's not what I'm talking about. You have to do the inner work so that you have something to say. One of my pet peeves is sitting and giving someone on stage an hour of my time where I could be doing something else to grow, to develop, and I'm trusting you, person on the stage, with an hour of my time, and you have nothing new to say. All you've done is read a bunch of books and regurgitate everything that you've seen. Or, even worse, of your 60 minutes, you spend 55 of them telling me your life story that I really can't glean a lot from, and it just becomes like a self-love fest for you. And that's good for you, but I did not need to sit there and give you 55 minutes of my life to experience that. So I want you, budding professional speaker, to have something new to say. I don't know if this is just me. I sit through a lot of other speakers, and it's not that, oh, everyone's bad and I'm good. No, there's some amazing speakers out there. Made me cry, made me laugh, made me feel the things. But there's a lot of bad speakers out there. And it's not that they don't know the craft. There's a lot of good speaker technicians out there, right? But that doesn't mean that you have earned the right to speak to me if you don't have anything to say. So to figure out what you have to say, the first thing that I recommend you do after you outline all of the crises and everything that you've been through is to see what transformation you've created for yourself and others. What are the successes that you've had? List those down. What are the successes you've gotten for others? What are the themes that you start to see in your methodology for achieving the transformation? People tend to get stuck on the transformation. Like, I went from point A to point B, yay, woo me. But it's the methodology that's been proven more than once, if possible, for how you do that I want to hear as an audience member. I want to hear the story of how you've gone from point A to point B to inspire me to do the same. But then I want you to break it down with other examples of showing me how you did that exact thing. So let's say, for example, you were a smoker and you quit smoking. Fabulous. Congratulations. I am proud of you if that is you. But let's say you did it in a novel way. Let's say instead of doing the typical cold turkey or the patch, or I don't know if there's a pill or whatever, I'm not a smoker, but let's say instead of doing it that way, you use some special meditation technique, or you use some special visual cluing, and you realize that you then were able to use that to kick other habits, or you were able to set it up to help other people kick other habits, or to help them train their brains once they've been able to kick the habits into not getting rid of something positive, but I'm not getting rid of something negative, but to add something positive to their lives. Well, that's what you want to talk about, but you need to go inside first and look at the themes of the transformation that you've created. And that also means being vulnerable. I want to hear how I transformed the company and we went from $2,000 to $50 million. That's great. That can be inspiring, has its place. But how many times have you heard that? I've heard it a lot of times. And it's cool, but after a while, and especially now when things in our world with inflation and interest rates and all of that, they're getting more difficult. So don't be tone deaf. Tell me a new story about how maybe I can get that $50 million, but I can get it in a way that is different, novel, unique. Tell me something new, because at this point in time, if I'm sitting in that audience and I've wanted it bad enough up until this point, I've already tried the things that you're telling me. It's one of my biggest pet peeves to sit in an audience just waiting, hoping, praying that the person is going to tell me something new, because I am their ideal client. I am their ideal audience, but everything that they're saying is cliche. And God, I really wanted help moving past whatever blockage is I'm dealing with. Don't be that person. Do the inner work first, because that's where the novel ideas lie. That's where the innovation is. That's how you end up saying something new. Okay, I think you got it. The next thing is that I want you to label yourself. This is my tip number 3. Label yourself. So when I was thinking like, well, who am I? What do I do? And I'm like, well, I really love people into the highest versions of themselves, whether that's me from stage, whether that's doing one-on-one consulting. I help people rediscover who they are at their core so they can share that with other people, make better connections, make more money. That's what I do. But I don't know about you, but it sounds a little weird to say I love you into the highest version of yourself. Like, that sounds creepy. What exactly are you doing? And please keep your hands to yourself is what it sounds like, right? But that is at the core of what I do. And then I could go all into all of the techniques and the energy work and the storytelling, dooba-dabba-dooba-dabba-dooba, and then it becomes a big fat mess. But I do have all of that written down because I needed to label myself. Then the next tip I have for you is now use your outside of the house name. So you've labeled yourself inside and you've gotten clear on who you are. Now you need to get clear on how to communicate it to other people. So my inside of the house commentary might be I am the person who loves people in the highest version of themselves. My outside of the house label is I'm the spark for your spark. When your spark is dim, when you don't understand where it's coming from, where it's going, what's happened, it's not lit anymore, I come around and I spark it. for you so that you can go around and create a conflagration of wonderfulness in your life. So there's the inside name and then there's your outside of the house name. Why is it important to differentiate between the two? Because just because you have something that you've overcome doesn't mean I understand that it's a lesson that I need to learn unless you put it in words or language that I can more readily understand. If I can't understand it, I'm not going to grab onto it. And if I'm not going to grab onto it, you won't be able to help me. So that's the next thing. The next thing after that is to choose a transformation. That's my 5th tip for you. Choose a transformation. So I take people from battered and lost to clear and confident. That is my transformation. If you've gone through a life shift and life has left you battered and lost, if you have experienced burnout and you feel battered and lost, I take you to clear and confident, whether it's inside of my speaking sessions, in my retreat, or inside of my consulting and coaching programs, right? So choose a transformation, because that's what then you base all of your speaking topics on, is the transformation. And you shouldn't have 50 million speaking topics. I would keep it at 3 or 4 or even less than that. And you can even have one signature topic that you ride until the wheels fall off. That's up to you. Depends on your industry, depends on where you speak, etc. So that transformation also allows you to know where to speak and where not to speak. If you don't think that you can create that transformation for the people that are in the room, that's not a room for you to be in. If they are asking for something else, but you can hear the subtext that what they're really asking for is the transformation that you provide, then that is a room you should be in. But you need to choose a transformation. People often say, oh, I want to choose an industry or an audience. And I built my business on speaking. So I made $250,000 in 6 months when I first started because I chose a specific industry and did a lot of speaking. And I was speaking for exposure and speaking as a lead magnet. I'm going to get into that in a second, the different types of speaking. So that works really well. So I'm not saying don't choose an industry, but that is not the only way to go. You can also choose a transformation and go across industries if you can clearly articulate what that transformation is, it's relevant to that industry, and it's relevant to that event. That way you will be able to expand your reach depending on your long-term goals. So if you've listened to this podcast more than once, you probably heard me say that my goal is to become Oprah big, to be beloved by loving people into the highest version of themselves at scale. That's what that means to me. I can't stay in one industry and do that. If I'm stair-stepping up to my larger vision, I need to reach larger audiences that cross industries. But maybe that's not your jam. Maybe you want to be known within one industry. And if that is the case, then narrow it down, hone it in, and become exactly who that industry needs to provide that specific transformation. Okay, number 6. As you know, I'm a StoryBrand certified guide, and I do recommend that you craft your talk using the StoryBrand format. A couple of don'ts for a talk for me. Do not start with this long bio and pictures of your dog and pictures of your house and your husband and what. Please do not. Unless you have a real strong reason, please do not. Even people are like, well, but it relates to what I talk about later. There's gotta be another way you can open that sucker up because it's boring. No one cares. When I'm on stage, one of my comforts is that no one actually cares about me. They care about themselves. I am there to serve them. I am there to help them, to guide them, to lead them on a transformational journey. Hence the reason why you had to pick the transformation in the beginning. See how this is all working together? If you make it about you, you've turned people off from the beginning. You need to hit them hard by this is what you want. This is the problem that you are trying to solve, but you cannot. Here's what you're doing wrong. Here's how I'm going to guide you over the next 30 minutes, an hour to solve this problem. And here's the actual content. Here's how you solve it so you can lead to success and avoid failure. That's the structure. So if you haven't read Building a Story Brand, I recommend that you buy the book Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, and you structure your talk using that format. If you do, you will captivate the audience from beginning to end. Otherwise, you will end up with glazed eyes. And there's nothing as disconcerting as having glazed eyes. Now, I'm not trying to be super haughty and egotistical here, but that's never happened to me where I've been in an audience where people have fully glazed over eyes. Because I use the story brand framework and I'm very engaging. I work my body, I use voice modulation, I use other techniques that I probably should talk to people about. I'm going to get into that too in a second, to engage my audience. But I've sat there in an audience and watched people slowly check out. And my heart went out for the speaker, because the speakers is not that the content's not good. It's just the way that it is structured, that people are not there to learn. They're not there to absorb anymore because the structure does not work for the way their brains function. And my last tip is to never speak for free. But you say, Aleya, you literally just said you spoke for a year for free. Yes. There's more to the sentence. Don't ever speak for free, but you may speak to be paid later. So what do I mean by that? You might not be paid by the conference organizer. However, if it's the right conference of your ideal client, for example, you will make sure that you set up a system so that you will get clients so they will more than cover that presentation and more, right? So there's, like I said earlier, and I alluded to that we were going to get into, there's different types of speaking. For me, it breaks down into two main areas. There is speaking for lead gen. So I am trying to speak on this stage where the audience is full of my ideal customers because I want them to buy from me. And there's speaking for a revenue line by itself, where I don't really care who I'm talking to. Y'all ain't gonna buy from me, but the conference organizer paid me a grip of money, so I'm here to love on you. And then there's also a hybrid, right? You could have both, where the conference organizer pays you and you end up booking clients after that, right? So those are the two main types: getting lead magnet or straight up getting paid. Speaking as a lead magnet is you might speak for free, but you are going to get paid later. Let's break that down first, and then I'm actually going to get into the paid one next. So speaking for free as a lead magnet means that you have to do a couple of things. Your talk needs to be directly related to what you sell. It's not a sales pitch, but it is helping to solve a immediate problem that gets your client a quick win, and their next logical step would be to have them work with you to continue along their journey of solving that. Now, inside of your presentation, you need to do, if it's allowed by the event, a couple of things. One, you have a lead magnet. A lead magnet is a downloadable piece of content that you give away for free in exchange for an email address. So if you're talking about, let's see, the top 5 ways to grow your own vegetables, and you're someone who does private farms for people, right? But you're going to teach them how to grow their own vegetables to start off small, then the lead magnet might be the vegetables to grow in different areas, in different climates, in different seasons, right? So it's something that's related to what you're talking about. It's necessary and exciting for them to download. Then they give you their email address. And then when you get their email address, you need to have an automated series of emails that you actually use to email them. And throughout that email series, you're building know, like, and trust with your audience, and you are telling to them eventually. Buy from me. You heard me talk about how to grow your own little vegetable garden. You got this great download that tells you when to plant what. But if that sounds like too much effort for you and you would really want me to do it for you, not only can I grow your vegetable garden, but I can create a whole family on-site farm for you. Even if you only have, 1/8 of an acre to spare, call me, right? That's how that would end up in that email sequence. Inside your talk, though, just to recap, you have a down, like go to www.farmersrus or whatever.com/growing guide to download your lead magnet. You should have a picture of the cover of the lead magnet and even a QR code to make it really easy to download. Don't put it at the end. Put it in the middle. So you talk about something that's relevant, you pop that sucker in the middle. Then you might pop it in one more time right before the end and then at the end. You can put it in there maybe like 3 times. But it's to give them a chance to download it the more excited they get throughout the presentation, because your goal is, again, to get more clients. You also, if you're speaking for free, can work with the event organizer to set up a table right afterwards, or to have a booth, or to have a hands-on workshop. Either they would provide you the space to do that, or maybe you say, I am having a workshop to dive into whatever the content is this afternoon, and it's only $25 or $50 or $1,000. I don't know, it depends on what your price points are. So sign up here to join, and I will see you. I already have 5 people signed up. It's going to be a great time. So you're speaking for free, but you're gonna make some money while you're there. There's a little bit more creativity involved. It's also great if you have a book, you could sell your book, things like that. If you're speaking and someone's paying you, you still can actually do and should do all of those things. But you also, in addition to being paid from the conference organizer, can get sponsors to cover you as a speaker. You would develop a sponsorship packet, pitch to companies who want to reach your audience, and say, hey, I will include your logos inside of my speaking presentation or on my website. If you want to send merch, I'll give it out for you. But there's lots of ways to make money as a speaker, even if you're not being paid directly by the conference organizer. The biggest question I get is, well, where do I start? I would Google call for speakers. Call for speakers. A lot of places that are asking for speakers put out a call for speakers, and you just submit your talk. You usually have to have a talk overview that should start with the problem that you're solving and include 3 key takeaways, and then a headshot and a bio. It's not difficult to get on any one stage. You just have to make sure that it's the right stage for you based on what your goals are. Also, when you're getting on these stages, make sure that you video, because in the beginning, you probably are going to be speaking for free or close to it. Or I like to say for delayed payment, because you're going to make your money. But video it, so then the more you get, you can create speaker reels that will get you more and more paid engagements. Your speaker reel is going to be key in helping to market yourself as a professional speaker later on. What did you think of these tips? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I have so much more that I have to give you. And this episode was actually inspired in one of my most recent speaking engagements at the Wealthy Women's Summit, where afterwards people came up to me and they were like, Aleya, can you teach me how to speak like you? Aleya, I want to do what you do. I don't know how to get started. I'm inspired. How do you do that with your voice? What do you do with your body? You're so engaging. And that's not the only time that people have said that to me, but this time I'm listening, because it's been multiple times. And I think that I'd be really good at teaching, because I've never taken anyone truly behind the scenes of my process. These 7 tips will get you quite far, because I don't like holding back info, but there's only so much I can give you on one podcast episode. So I am thinking now, toying with the idea of having a paid workshop series where I help you figure out how to stand up from the crowd by being your authentic self, feel confident on stage, use your body to speak, like those on stage techniques, how to book speaking engagements and grow your leads and have an impact on others, all of those things. Get that real-time feedback. It would be all about doing the thing and me working through it with you, not just sending you a bunch of PDFs, like death by PDF, as I feel like the way that that courses are going. So by the time you're done, you're going to actually feel confident jumping into the world and being a public speaker. If that sounds like something you would be down with, let me know. Send me an email. All you have to do is, put in the subject, public speaking workshop, and just be like, yes, I'm in, or something. I mean, if you want to tell me more about what you want to do, I would love it. And what you would be looking for, I would love it. But we don't have to overcomplicate this thing. Send me an email, Aleya, Aleya, at aleyaharris.com, ALEYAHARRIS.com. I think it could be cool. I think it could be cool. I think I could help a lot of people. I know I could help people make some more money and leave a bigger impact, especially my beautiful thought leaders and business owners out there. So if that sounds like something you'd want to do, I'm thinking of it being something dirt cheap, like $500 or something to start off with, a couple weeks, maybe probably 4 weeks. We sit there, it's in the group setting, you're giving live feedback, you're getting some homework, you're coming back, maybe I'll review some video of you speaking, right? That type of thing, so that you know exactly what you need to do to book speaking engagements with confidence. Let me know. Send me an email, Aleya at aleyaharris.com. All right, so those were your 7 tips, at least for now, for being an effective professional speaker. Until next time, my name is Aleya Harris. This is the Flourishing Entrepreneur Podcast. I can speak, I promise. I could say the name of my own podcast. Let me try again. This is the Flourishing Entrepreneur Podcast. There we go. I got it that time. And until next time, I'm sending you lots of love, light, and abundance. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Flourishing Entrepreneur Podcast with Aleya Harris. Vibing with what you hear? Leave a 5-star review to spread the love, and be sure to click subscribe. We wish you love, light, and abundance. See you next time.